Hi, Mariah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for joining me on my little coffee break today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yay! I was really looking forward to chatting with you a bit because, well, I'll let you say a bit about yourself and everyone will find out why I was so looking forward to talking with you. So give them the rundown.
That's sweet of you to say. Thank you. So I'm a theater teacher in Oakland, California, and I'm also an activist and a performer. Um, I think that summarizes it pretty much.
Yep.
I help host a monthly group called Solidarity Sundays that has branches all over the US. It's a grassroots, feminist, anti-racist, very progressive group of folks that just get together in a backyard and start taking action related to the kind of political change that they want to see.
Yes. Which brings us very directly to the topic of change,
Yeah.
which is what we're here to sort of talk about. And I mean, I know a lot of people are s- seeing this whole COVID-19 situation, and they're really focusing on the health and, of course,
Mhm.
having to look after each other and making these big changes in our personal lives. But I'm very interested from your activism perspective, and you're one of the people that I look to in terms of how you raise your voice on issues in a very respectful but very clear way. And I think that moving out of this situation, people need to be prepared for some pretty difficult situations, conversations. And I'm just wondering if you could maybe talk a bit about the change that you think is coming and how you would approach that change and what we might all be able to do to make it slightly smoother.
Yeah. Who knows if it can be smooth?
Well, I said that because I was like, maybe it won't be smooth. Maybe we need to make it not smooth.
I mean, I'm sure there will be smooth parts. I hope so. God, yeah, we can definitely hope. Um, One person who really inspired me in their thinking about political issues and the agency that we have within creating political change, and I think this is also about creating everyday change in our lives, is Rebecca Solnit. She's a writer in the Bay Area and a feminist, um, and she has this book called Hope in the Dark that she wrote in 2004 or something like that, around the time that we were being thrust into the Iraq War
Yeah.
and George Bush was leading. And, it all sort of seems quaint in some ways compared to the situations that we're in today. But, the urgency was real at that time. And the main thrust of her book is that we really have no idea what the future holds. The future is dark.
Mhm.
And it's within that darkness and uncertainty that there's actually a lot of hope. We know that if we allow the status quo to continue on, and if we allow things to move forward without engaging and stating what we want and taking action towards what we want, then it's probably going to continue on the way that it has, and it might be quite destructive.
Yeah.
But so we know that if we don't do anything, then it probably won't be great. But if we take action and if we stand up for what we believe in, if we organize together, if we have direct political action, if we vote, and that's what feels so key to me right now in this moment, in this year, then at least we have a chance. We have the possibility of making change. And if we don't do anything, we really kind of forfeit that possibility and that option. But there's hope. There's hope in just trying, and like just giving it our all and showing up.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been trying to encourage people to do right now, where there's so much divisiveness online. There's so much divisiveness between the right and the left. And there's a lot of divisiveness within the left, where I locate myself. And like, debate's fine, but we all need to show up. We need to show up. We need to vote. We need to organize. We need to imagine the world we want and take action towards it, whether we get exactly what we want or not.
Yeah. And that's totally relevant, not just in the US where you are. I mean, like everyone all over the world, I'm sure, no matter what country you're watching this from, there's some some part of that that's happening where everyone is thinking, what will the world look like next? And I think there's an issue that people are finding where there's a lot of, I know I found it, like I feel sort of, I have this feeling that like this is our chance, and then I go like, but what can I do? I don't know what to do. How did you, I'm sure, I don't know if you still have that feeling, but you seem to be taking steps forward and figuring out what to do. So I'm wondering what advice you'd have for someone more in my situation of like, I need to do something, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Where did you start?
I don't know where I started, but I feel like there are so many places that you can start. And I think at least the key for me is actually to start pretty small, to do things that feel, to set really manageable goals. I mean, I guess I don't know that much about political action and what the avenues specifically are in other countries, but I know in the US, there are so many different postcarding campaigns and texting campaigns and phone banking campaigns, and there are possibilities for protest. And something that's inspiring me on an international level is the activism and the performative direct action that we're seeing from groups like, sorry, I just got a little thing in my screen there.
Okay.
From, what are they called? Extinction Rebellion. So groups who are organizing performative direct action to stand up against climate change and the destructive path that we're on.
Because that is a global issue. I mean,
absolutely.
in politics even, it's really, I mean,
it's a life issue.
But it's a global
absolutely.
issue.
Yeah. So getting together with a couple of other people that you connect with, and who are willing to take action together, I think it's pretty key to do it with other people. Okay. And that's why I'm part of this monthly group, is because just showing up for a couple of hours on a Sunday in the same space makes me far more likely to actually do things than to commit to doing them online. And it's hard right now because we're all in our own spaces, but we've got mediums like Zoom and other online platforms that are still adapting and helping us figure out how to be together in those ways.
Yeah.
So
I love that you're sort of giving words to something that I think a lot of people are feeling, which is like, how do we connect and how do we prepare for making the future we want, while also taking it one day at a time and trying not to get too many expectations. Like, it's sort of a very challenging balance that people are trying to work through right now.
Absolutely. And I think we have to give ourselves so much grace right now, because, not only are there all these huge issues that are happening on a global and community scale, but then we've got the personal issues that come up with being in the situation that we're in with a pandemic, which creates a lot of change within our own psyches and in our own beings. And so, I really hope that people are giving themselves a lot of love and a lot of rest and a lot of care, and knowing that hard days are absolutely part of it. And doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It means that you're on this journey with everybody else.
And I would love, I hope that people who watch this video, maybe there's a conversation that can be started about what world do we want to create, because it's not a case of let's go back to normal. Like, there's a lot of things that are proven now that it wasn't working the way it was, and what world do we want to build after this?
Yeah, we have a really kind of amazing and special opportunity that we've been thrust into make some systemic change, I think, or make bigger changes than we might have been able to before the pandemic. And I'm hopeful that we can do some of those.
Me too. Talking with you, it's like a little surge of like energy, and I feel really hopeful as well that we're going to be able to make some positive changes if people get involved and speak up and build them. So
I hope so.
Thank you so much for having this quick chat with me. Is there anywhere that we can go to support you? Is there anything that you would like to share with us in terms of how we can support you? or your
Great question.
organizations that you're a part of?
I guess I would just make a broader request on behalf of my work that people support art in education, because I think it's so crucial to social emotional learning and to adaptive skills and community building, most specifically and maybe most importantly. And as countries are losing money and different communities are losing funding, a lot of the time the arts can get cut pretty quickly. And I think we really need the arts, and the arts are going to need to adapt and get creative about how they fit into the new models that we're making. So give some money to art or create art, because I feel like that helps every person also heal and process.
I agree. Thank you so much for this chat. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the weekend, and good luck with everything moving forward. Keep us all posted.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.